Good morning all. Welcome to the breakfast show and happy Valentine. It's February 14, 2022 and I think many of you may have plans for tonight or probably staying at home as maybe February 14 is just another usual day for you. But for some of you who are still single, maybe today is a special day for you, but for me it's just a normal day as we have done my celebration with my spouse and my family over the weekend to avoid the crowd that is going on tonight. And of course, what do we have for you this morning, right after we have last Friday night when the Dow Jones closed down 500 points due to the possible of Russia invading Ukraine war loom. And we did talk about on the Saturday Zoom session in here. And for those of you who came, I think I make it very, very clear and crystal clear that all this war are slightly in temporarily and within 1 or 2 months we will be out of it. Of course, you can check out the VSA 360 seasonal monthly. Will probably tell you a better trend to go in sometime in the coming months in here. So what do we have for you this morning in our breakfast show? Let's check out what we have in our KLCI. You can see on top the KLCI, let me just switch to a wider chart here. I found something very, very interesting for those of you who are in this market here is the KLCI continue to move up. As you can see from here, just log into our website tradevsa.com. You can see our market is up 1.47 points in here, and you can see pretty even of the green and pink that's up. But more interestingly is the top pick by the analyst CINB. You can see here Pentagon Guider UOB K Hiang, a top pick analyst, and one of those stocks of which we talk about finance, which is RHB.finance. And if we click on that one here, you're able to see that chart. It's the same as the Robie chart that you have. And right now intraday alert, which is the real-time delay just 15 minutes in here, you can see RHB Bank has of movement already. You can see right now in here, and if you switch on to the real-time chart, which I'm going to share with you up here, and you can see RHB, it's already making a nice move. And for those of you who like the finance sector, may want to take a look at RHB Bank and started to move up after Green Pentagon, a follow through. Will we see higher? Definitely. We want to see if there is a lot about the interest rate hike, which is the US Fed's meeting minutes will be released this week. Is this going to be a 25 basis point or 0.25% or a 0.5% or 50 basis point? And probably this is a telltale sign of what we are heading into this market in here. Just a little bit of sneak preview what you can get from our tradevsa.com website in here. Now let's move on to next that we have for you in today's segment of our breakfast show, which is the Pentagon Guider, and it's a beginner entry in here. We recommend to use the Pentagon Guider. And for our news roundup this morning on our news headline, what are we looking at? Let's take a look this morning here. Okay, and make sure we got everybody. Yes, thank you for coming. So what do we have for our news roundup? Definitely is the reopening of the border. All right, reopening our border. I think this is not much, but I think many of you may have came across the news that some Malaysian went over to Manila and has to stop and quarantine or likely to be deported because the vaccine on the My Sejahtera apps are not recognized by the Philippine government. So they have to straighten this out. For those of you who are traveling, please take note of this. Even with the border reopening, we can go over. They can also come to us. But having said that, the analysts are very bullish on the news of this border reopening, which is usually healthcare, gaming, and tech stock on this event. You can see in here, oh wait, let's take a look if there is any healthcare that is moving up. You can definitely check from just the top of me here. Do we see healthcare? Let me see. Not really. Genting is down 1%. Top Glove is down almost 1% in here. The banks are moving. The oil and gas are moving because we did see a jump of 3% over on Friday night due to the likelihood of the Ukraine war in here. So right now we could see the market continued to retest, broke through the 1560 level in here. As I said before, on Saturday's Zoom event, using the peak valley trade VSA indicator, you can see it's likely to retest back 1605 using the price projection from our peak value in here. So what we do have, and going forward, is the news on the Forex exchange. Now the news on the Forex exchange earlier on talks about the ringgit trading on a tight basis. So it's on a tight basis, which does mean if you look at the chart that we have for you here, the market can go up or go down. We do have some sort of support. Definitely resistance is at 4 ringgit 20 cents. This kind of thing, it can either break up or break down, but usually with the looming of a war that's ongoing, US dollar will tend to be strengthened, and I think hitting 4.1. Now it's about 4.189, so 4.20. It's not. So it's also a good time for those of you who are thinking to go into the US market, get you started. I think that's fine. As also the local big online retailer like Rakuten are been promoting a lot on the US market, which we will cover shortly on the next news. Now on the insurance side, a local insurance player, Takaful, continue to outperform the peer. So if you look from a chart wise, this is a pretty good, as you can see from the fundamental. Let me just switch over to the fundamental side also on SMARTRobie here, just switching to a wider chart. All right, you can switch to a wider chart here. Takaful. And looking at the trading plan, all right, you can see the trading plan here just gives you a very nice approximation in here. But what's really interesting is the chart, right? And it is rated 6 out of 10 with a PE of 8 times and the ROE 20. Now remember, Takaful is also in the finance. There could be a re-rating possibly with this stock, and we might see this market going. But right now it does have a support here around the I think 380 level in here, perhaps retesting that 390. This is on slow moving stock, definitely a dividend player for about 3% dividend here. If you like the finance sector, this is definitely one of those stocks that you want to put on. And also you can see from here, R1 is 390, which is about a 4%. This is not going to make a big move, but if you're looking for some sort of protection, this is definitely intrinsic value is at the, let me see, intrinsic value, you can see from just top of my slide here, it is around 8 ringgit in here. But right now it's only trading 372 right price because the PE is only 8 times, okay, which is well. If there is any growth on the Takaful with the increase of the margin, margin squeeze, avoiding that, then you'll see Takaful likely to move a bit higher in here. And this was the news that we were talking about on the digital savvy retail investor are moving aboard. That's right, they are moving to the US market. Of course, those of you who are already in SMARTRobie would have known that we already been advocating moving to the US market, and that's why if you go to the front screen, we have both the SGX and the US Dow Jones S&P 500 here, which always been part and parcel what we've been looking to ensure that many of you are well diversified, not just trading in the local market. Okay, so having said that, let's turn our attention to the US market, switching to back to a wider chart in here. And don't forget the market conference that we are doing in March 12. So check out on the ads that we have in here. Now, the US front, we have seen the stock market drop because there was something scarier than the rate hikes, which is the war, right? But maybe this week they don't talk about it. It may not appear, but definitely the attention is turned to the US FOMC meeting minutes this week, whether they are expecting a 50 basis point or a 25 basis point, because the inflation rate has turned to 7.5% higher in here. So on the US chart, you could see it has turned back to a red pentagon with the sell-off that we have, which is in general, but it could possibly stay above the 4350. That is again another support where you want to be looking into the market. Now on the stock side, what we have here is the Nvidia. That's right, Nvidia, Walmart, they are giving tonight a possibility of earnings. So if you look from here, Nvidia on the charts, likely have turned green Pentagon because of last Friday sell-off. That's why we have a red bar in here. But if the earnings are pretty good, then you can see it can hold on. Another earnings this week will be Walmart. Same picture, just like the S&P 500 turning red Pentagon, but this one hasn't really been a big move, and because partly Walmart is feeling the supply chain issue in here and not able to produce the kind of a profit. But if it does have a good profit and earning this week, which is will release, you can see the market moving back higher. On the Pentagon guider, you could see right now, and let me just show you here, S&P 500. One of the new features we add on is the S&P 500. So right now you could see just on top of me here, if you switch over to Pentagon guider, you can get the latest US S&P 500 Pentagon guider winner and loser. So from this chart onwards, you can see O, XY, MRO, EOG, XOM, those are oil and gas. Definitely you can see since 27th of December, which is almost 2 months ago, they have moved across about almost 30% on price gain in here. Of course, check it out on the Pentagon guider in here, and do look out for the semiconductors news release tonight, because that's going to be a telltale sign how well the semiconductors is likely to be moving and whether the demands are going to be good. All right, now the S&P 500, as I mentioned before in here, has turned red Pentagon. Do take note of this. Now moving to the Singapore side, you can see the BN7, which is some one of the stocks we have looked at it much earlier, and let's take a look at BN here, just switching to a wider chart. This is Keppel Corp. Oh, this is a US market. Gotta switch back to SGX here, and BN4. All right, and you can switch to stock chart, stock comment here, BN4, and that's the one. Keppel Corp has done very well. Definitely, if you look from the Singapore STI market compared to our Malaysian market, hopefully if our Malaysian market can do what the STI market is doing, possible, because one of the reasons why, if you look further down on our KLCI here on our website, you can see foreign funds on the left hand side are starting to trickle up, hitting 200 and above 240 million in here. So if they continue to come down, then we might see also Malaysia is following a cue from the Singapore STI market in here. So that's going to be interesting to see whether that will be happening or not. So this kind of update, we feel that are pretty helpful to those of you who are listening right now, and do share this video in your timeline. We appreciate it a lot more. All right, so on the Singapore side, you can see market continue to move higher in here, and again the SGX market, switching to a wider chart here. All right, you will see that the just right on my side here, no, this side here is the Pentagon winner. Now the Pentagon winner in here, if you look from here, we do have BDF, 5WH, and I think some of these are related to the oil and gas too. So take note, many parts of the world, they all move in tandem with the sector that you see on the big brother in US market in here. So always keep an eye on the SGX market and also on the US market before you turn your attention to the Malaysian one. They all are interrelated in here. Now going on to the beginner trade idea, something that we talked about in 27 December, GCB, Perak Trans, KPS. Let's take a look at them now, right now. Okay, so the first one will be Hector. Okay, Hector has done pretty well in here, and what you see in front of us is the Peak Valley line market stages. Okay, and you can see from here it did move up a 43%. Last round that we meet was a 43%, and it's about 46%. So we are possibility at the old high already. So don't try to be, we are very close, no doubt. If the market were to move above the what we call the danger line here, the red danger line in here, that's the one that you want to be. Right now you can push it a bit more in here, but you can see the last round it made about a 54%, 33%, about 50% returns. So 50% from the bottom here, 128, right? And you can do your maths here. So that will probably give you some sort of a rough estimate how much this swing can go back up on Hector, since we talk about it on the 27th of February in here. So that market has moved up nicely. If we put it here to here, that is already a 24% move. So it's almost there. So don't go into hectare anymore. You may want to take a look at it earlier when we first talked about it way back on the 27th of December, which is about 2 months ago. So those are, next we have is GCB. So GCB is nicely coming back right now. Apparently, TradingView seems to be having some issue with this thing, and I think many of you will experience the same thing. So GCB 8% move, the last big move was 20%, and you can see right now it's trading below the green line. So this does mean this market has a lot of potential in here. Now get the market stages indicator, that's the one over here, and also our peak valley line indicator comes with our Trade VSM plugin. What do you have to lose? So use this indicator will definitely help you to plot and analyze the chart much better. And also don't forget the VSA 360 and our masterclass, which is coming on this Friday night. That's right, the masterclass for February intake. It's ongoing here. There are still a couple of seats left. You can still register for that one. And for those of you who is coming, we welcome you to come back and re-attend our course in there. So next we have is P-Trans. So P-Trans a 5% move. Last move was a 12% move in here. It's nicely below the green line here. So that's pretty good. It hasn't done green pentagon yet. It did not hit through the ATR stop loss. So P-Trans lots okay in here. And last but not least will be KPS. All right, KPS hasn't moved up yet. You can see this one here, 9% move, 6% move in here. Is it possible? It did hit the old high here and then close back 2%, and then today almost unchanged here. All right, so that's what we have for this market in here. And let's take a look at also the KLCI. We do have a change in the winner. Right now we got the BJ Food, we got SOP, which is a plantation, Ta'an, revenue, Gen P, revenue was something that we have earlier on in the January Pentagon Guider in here. We did talk about in here. So now you can see something that I talked about 1-2 months ago, and now it becomes one of Pentagon Guider past 1 month trade idea. So you can see the kind of relationship is that usually the Pentagon Guider and charts are trading purposes for between 30 to 60 days, which is 1 to 2 months. And you can see right now reflected on the Pentagon trade idea flow. You can see this is how the market are moving. And right now we also have that for the US S&P 500 and also for the SGS market, something for you to learn and understand in here. So going on to the KLCI watch list, what we have now, January month GCB Inari Kosan in here. I think we took up Kosan because it actually fell below. And for the month of February 14, which is the Valentine, we added Uchitech. So you can go on to, let me switch to a wider chart here. Right, and that was for January. We have Inari in here. So we switch on to the Pentagon Guide list. For February, we added Uchitech and Falco. Falco did move up very nicely too. That's something that we have on the 7th of February. So we use our watch list here to so-called handle our management of the stocks. That which one here? So we look at Falco, and Falco came out on the 4th of February, hitting up nicely. Last round was 11% move from the base. So we can say 8%, almost there. You know, this market in here, but let's see if we can punch through 7% move, 8% move, 11% move. Will this give us another 6% move here? Will it punch through to the new high in here? So we felt that this peak valley line will definitely help you in your day-to-day analysis in here. And if you have any stocks you want me to look at, do pencil in on the comment below. I'll be happy to go through it using our market stages as well as our peak valley line here. Okay, so next we have for Uchitech, which is the new stock that we are looking at. So for Uchitech, we're going to switch back to looking at the, we're going to set the, what we call the upper bound and lower bound, so we will know where likely we will hit resistance and support. So let's take on to Uchitech. Using Uchitech, and we go on to the trading plan here. So Uchi Tech, you can see last move was a 10%. I think there's still some room going up. Okay, let's look at Uchi Tech. 3 ringgit 10 cent, which is this old high here, 3 ringgit 10 cent, and then you have 325, which is this old 325. So I think we should put it at 325, and the support we will use this exit strategy. It's going to be weekly support is around 295. Okay, 295 will be somewhere around here. So 295 and 325. All right, so let's set that one up for Uchi Tech. Going back to here, switching to the February and going to Uchi Tech, and we want to edit a stock chart here. Upper bound is 325 and lower bound is 295. Okay, and then the remarks we're going to be putting as the February 14 trade idea. Okay, February 14 trade, and we're going to save that alert here. And right now you can see Uchi Tech on the right side of the screen. All right, on the left side of the screen will be 325 and 295. So you can set that the same thing too on your chart here. All right, so this is pretty good. I do think that Uchi Tech has still a little bit more potential in here. Makes it so much easier. Use our Trade VSA plugin to help you to plan better and trade better. Of course, trading smarter every time in here. All right, let's take a look at the what we have for you next. Is our intake February. We will start this Friday. That's right, Friday 8 o'clock in here. I'll see you guys coming in here, and there is still time for you to register for our masterclass. So right now we're going to move on to the stock chart to review. Now do go over to Google Play Store and Apple Play Store to give us a review on our feedback that you're getting in here, and don't forget to rate us if you've been using a SMARTRobie in here. Now if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, do pencil in there. I'll be happy to look into them. If you have any concern of any stocks in here, by right we should be releasing our peak valley lines this coming weekend to all our members in here. So our members will be able to get this. What you see is what you get. All right, so if you have any chart that you want me to look at, do pencil in there. I'm happy to look at it in here. All right, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, all right, for all channel which is related to the market. And also don't forget to share our Telegram chat room in here, and check out my morning short podcast every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I'll come to you just before 9:30 and to sort of sum up what has happened into the market. Okay, let's go to this stock chart. Okay, let's look at PBB. PBB is, that's for cool. PBB is, I think you're talking about PBB is the one in Malaysia, isn't it? Right? Not Public Bank. Oh, Public Bank. Okay, Public Bank. Public Bank is good. As I said before, this is also moving in tandem, just like just now. What bank were we looking at? RHB, right? Remember RHB? Yes. This thing also came on to the intraday alert. Now, if you go back to the charts that we have here, if I'm not mistaken, you go on to where was it? Here. All the banks. Yes, you can see that on top of me here. Just move it up a bit here. You can see Public Bank is also in our Pentagon guided UOB Kayang top pick by analyst stock watch list. So it's also in tandem in there. So check it out in there. All right, and so that looks pretty good. And last round that we have, if you look at this, do be careful because now it's touching almost the red danger line already. Of course, if you have gone in much earlier during the green Pentagon here, there will be a great move. Right now it's 435 old resistance. Last big move around 26% in here. Right now it's about 12% movement in here. And let's see how this market can really go even higher. Okay, any more stocks, do let me know. For exit, continue to run your profit. Of course, you can also check out the exit strategy on our SMARTRobie, or maybe go over to the VSA 360 here. Okay, and let me just bring up the VSA 360. All right, any more stocks, do let me know. And let me just bring up the VSA 360 here. We were looking at public bank. Okay, and you can see public bank resistance is 465, 496. So right now it's 436. So 465 at least. Okay, having said that, that will be your short-term medium. So right now 435. Okay, I suppose that's all we have for this morning in here. So thank you for coming. I'll see you on Wednesday, and definitely this Wednesday live FB on Wednesday night 9:30. We'll be focusing on the US market. All right, I'll see you then. Bye bye.